to map out how we intend to complete the handover of security responsibility to the Afghan government, to ensure sustainment, to build the international commitment necessary to fund, train and support the Afghan national security after transition is complete, and to highlight our long-term support to recommit to and define our continued contribution in the years after 2014. In our transition is already happening. Today, around half of the population lives in areas where the Afghan National Security Forces have begun taking the lead security responsibility. The next stage of transition, Tranche 3, will be announced soon, and it is likely next year, mid-2013, the fifth and final tranche of districts and provinces will have commenced transition. ISAF has made clear that this will not mean the end of combat support or training, but I am now confident Chicago will recognise mid-2013 as a key milestone in the international strategy, a crucial point when the international forces will be able to move to a supporting role across all of Afghanistan. I also expect President Karzai to make an announcement on transition in Uruzgan and other provinces in coming months, including which areas of Uruzgan will begin the process first. Once started, this should take 12 to 18 months, and when this is complete, Australia's commitment in Afghanistan will look very different to that which we have today. We will have completed our training and mentoring mission with the 4th Brigade. We will no longer be conducting routine frontline operations with the Afghan National Security Forces. The Australian-led Provincial Reconstruction Team will have completed its work, and the majority of our troops will have returned home. When transition is complete, the international community will need to continue to support the Afghan National Security Forces. This is what we mean by ensuring sustainment. ISAF, which includes the police, the Afghan National Army and Afghan Air Force, is building up to a surge force of some 352,000. We expect the final size of the ANSF to be smaller than this. Indeed, the government of Afghanistan has made some initial decisions about likely future size and force structure. Importantly, the ISAF summit will discuss a funding arrangement for the costs of ensuring sustainment, to maintain full responsibility for security. After 2014, the Afghan National Security Forces will need the right support, including funding and training from the international community. In Chicago, I will be arguing strongly for broad and substantial international support, and I will go to Chicago prepared for Australia to pay our fair share. Australia will also be prepared to provide niche training to the Afghan National Security Forces after 2014. We are already involved in institutional training through the Afghan National Army Artillery Training School. In future, we will support the proposed UK-led Afghan National Army Officer Academy. We will maintain a role providing training and support to policing in Afghanistan. The AFP will progressively refocus its police development efforts from training in southern Afghanistan to institutional capability development of the Afghan National Police in Kabul. And finally, as I have stated previously, we are prepared to consider a limited Special Forces contribution in the right circumstances and under the right mandate. There may be a continuing role to train the ANSF to conduct and to work alongside them in carrying out counter-terrorism operations in Afghanistan. Australia has an enduring national interest in ensuring that Afghanistan does not again become a safe haven for terrorists. Reviewing progress in transition and ensuring sustainment are the vital work for Chicago. Stating our commitment to Afghanistan's human and economic development is vital too. Strengthening the capacity of the Afghan government, economy and institutions will be essential to ensuring that the gains made to date are not reversed. Sustaining development and growing the economy will be enormous challenges in the years ahead. The people of Afghanistan enjoy greater freedoms today and a better quality of life than in 2001. In that time, life expectancy has increased by 5 years to 48 today. 85% have access to basic healthcare services under the Taliban. Over 7 million children, including 2.5 million girls, are now. But clearly, development and capacity building programs will need to continue well beyond 2014. Above all, Afghanistan must grow economically, including by developing resources. Mining, education and agriculture will be crucial sectors, all areas in which Australia can offer some technical. Like many in Afghanistan, I believe that a successful democratic transition at the end of President Karzai's second term will be a critical point in the development of Afghanistan's democratic norms. Previous elections in Afghanistan have been criticised, and many in Afghanistan and the international community have urged electoral reform. Electoral assistance will continue to be an important focus of the Australian aid program. We will maintain our support to Afghanistan's independent electoral commission. During my visit to Afghanistan in October last year, President Karzai and I discussed formalising a comprehensive long-term framework for the future of the Australian-Afghanistan partnership. Indeed, we hope to be in a position to sign the agreement when we meet at the Chicago summit in May. This will set out Australia's enduring partnership with Afghanistan in development, along with security, trade and investment, as well as cultural and people-to-people links. The Government of Japan will host an important ministerial conference in Tokyo in July. At Tokyo, the focus will be on the coordination of international assistance through to 2014 and beyond, and on the Afghan government's strategy for sustainable development. At Chicago, it is vital that the nations of the coalition restate our commitment to this cause. I will use that opportunity, the opportunity the Chicago summit creates, to announce the details of increased Australian development assistance to Afghanistan through to 2015-16, and of our commitment to maintain that contribution in subsequent years. At Chicago and at Tokyo, the international community will meet in a spirit of mutual commitment, so these are also opportunities for the government of Afghanistan. Opportunities to demonstrate its determination that our mutual gains over the last decade in democracy, development, tackling corruption and protecting human rights are maintained. Australia and the international community also have a key role to play in supporting political reconciliation within Afghanistan. Reconciliation is not a precondition for successful transition.
So that's where we leave Australian Prime Minister Gillard. They're making an announcement regarding troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. She said a lot of preconditions to the final withdrawal of Australian troops, hoping eventually, given the conditions that she mentioned, to be finally pulled out by mid-2013. Our correspondent Duncan Kennedy has